request for the Abdul Karim Suari to lead the prayer. Rise.
العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. اللهم ربنا لك الحمد كما ينبغي لوجهك الكريم، اللهم لك الحمد كما ينبغي لوجهك الكريم يا رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين يا رب العالمين. اللهم ربنا اهدنا واهد بنا واجعلنا سببا لمن اهتدى. اللهم اهدنا واهد بنا واجعلنا سببا لمن اهتدى. الأرض ويوم العرض يا رب العالمين، إنك على كل شيء يا رب العالمين. ووفقنا بما ترضاه. اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار، والحمد لله رب العالمين. صلى الله عليه وسلم.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Kayang magiliw, elas ng sinakanan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyag ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagagang tutok sa simoy at sa langit kong pagaw, ay hinatang tulad awit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na naghihindig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pang ay di magdidinig. Luman ang araw ng walhagit pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang inigaya ng pagkay mga amin, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Simula noon hanggang ngayon, isa ang naging layon. Magkaisa at magbuklod, karitingan ay marugdod. Tumayo tayo mula sa hamon ng nakaraan, niyapos ang panganib na umanlang. Pinangako sa puso at paniniwala, ang ginhawa para sa kabataan. Bangsamoro ay tagumpay, bunga ng pawis, sugo at buhay. Kapayapaan, katarungan ay ating
Secretary General directed to be
also para sa ano mas kasi ako na lifestyle. Outside, John Anthony, John Benjamin, John Mustafa, Reyna Jose, Apua Jalo, Amar Abdomo, Salim Magyani, Salim Amrosi, Langit Narhata, Malik Ali, Tawi Biden, Roman Aida, Radi Junior, Sulaiman Ali, Amo Paisali, Nani Nani, Man Ajwan, Utto Basir, Uy Oyot Sidipahani, Wakub Muhammad.
Wabarakatuh. Mr. Speaker, on the basis of the roll, with 44 members of the Parliament responded to the call, we therefore certify the presence of quorum in today's session. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
With the certification of the Secretary General of the presence of a quorum of 44 members present, we now can proceed to transact official business. Floor Leader.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My utmost respect to the Speaker, Attorney Pangalian Balindong, to the Presiding Officer, Deputy Speaker Attorney Nabil Tan, Deputy Speakers who are present, fellow members of the Parliament, guests, Secretariat, and staff. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Mr. Speaker, I would like to move to dispense with the reading of the journal of the previous
motion to dispense with the reading of the journal of the previous session. Second. Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we approve journal number 37.
There is a motion to approve journal number 37 of February 22, 2022 session. Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On reference of business, bills on first reading. Mr. Speaker, we have 5 for today. May we request the Secretariat to please read the bill numbers, the titles, the authors, and the co-authors.
Secretary shall be directed to read all bills on first reading. 5 bills on first reading. Those the title.
BTA Parliament titled Establishing a Comprehensive Framework for the Promotion and Development of Tourism in the Bangsamoro Province Region, which is limited now providing funds, therefore, and for other purposes. Authors, members of Parliament, Kaitan ng Katuan, Lord Mustapalo, Rasul Ismail, Rasul included. Co-authors, members of Parliament, Maisa Rania, Abibahan Nawalin, Suat Kamulugto, Awakal Nitimbang, Lapara Kolonitay Matala, Michael Nitimbang, Itibahali, Itoyo, Tani Pagyadowa, Nasir BTA Parliament Bill number 281 entitled An Act Granting Bereavement for Employees in Private and Public Sectors within the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region, Mindanao, and providing for other purposes. Honorable Member of Parliament Abdullah Hassan. Co-authors, Member of Parliament, Sana Anayatin, Nabila Margarita Pangadaman, Mujib Abu Mosquer Alaudien, Al Karen, Ali Sadiq, Abdullah Makabaan, Tawakal Bitiba, Ali Sulaiman, Abdul Wahab Haq, Ibrahim Ali, Rose Patado, Ali Ali Jr., Ramon Pian Sr., Ali Taha Babaw, Ben Martin Tahadan, Jamila Ramos, Muhammad Kelly Antao, Said Sheikh, Sahata Maglamit, Abdullah Gaya, Michael Bitiba, Hussein Junior, Eddie Ali, Bay Malehan Antao, Suhanta Ismail, Magyan Makasado, and Aida Silo. BTA Parliament Bill number 282 entitled The Granting Government Officials and Employees of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Mindanao the 30 calendar days paid leave to perform 50 days of the funds therefore. Author Member of Parliament Magpasya.
Co-authors, members of Parliament Susana Anayatin, Nabila Margarita Pangandaman, Mujib Abu Mosber Alaudin, Faisal Karol, Ali Sadiq, Abdullah Makapaan, Tawakal Bitimbang, Ali Sulaiman, Abdul Wahab Pak, Ibrahim Ali, Ambrosi Makatanong, Lalang Ali Jr., Ramon Piang Sr., Ali Muntaha Babaw, Ben Martin Kahalan, Jamila Ramos, Muhammad Kelly Antao, Said Sheikh, Tarhata Maglangit, Abdullah Gaya, Michael Bitimbang, Hussein Bunyos, Eddie Ali, Bay Maleha Kandao, Abdulaziz Aminuddin, Suharto Ismail, Marjani Makasalong, and Aida Silungan. BTA Parliament Bill number 283 entitled An Act Creating and Establishing an Infirmary Hospital in Tipo-Tipo Municipality, Province of Basilan, otherwise known as Tipo-Tipo Community Hospital, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. Authors, Members of Parliament Mosber Alaudin, Khalil Sinulindi Jr., Shailaya Dumama Alba, Lanang Ali Jr., Mary Ann Arnado, Ohagyar Iqbal, Amrosi Makatanong, Tarhata Maglangit, and Aida Silungan. Co-authors, Members of Parliament Mujib Abu, Ibrahim Ali, Muhammad Kelly Antao, Eddie Ali, Dan Asnawi, Hasheme Dilangalen, Matarol Istino, Tawakal Mitimbang, Suhay Boradon, Abdul Wahab Pak, Said Sheikh, and Basir Uttuk. BTA Parliament Bill number 284 entitled An Act Renaming the Municipality of Sultan Mastura, Maguindano del Norte to Municipality of Suktangan. Author, Member of Parliament Lanang Ali Jr. Co-authors, Members of Parliament Aida Siroman, Abdullah Hasim, Eddie Ali, Mailen Mantawid, Mosber Alaudin, Mujib Abu, Muhammad Kelly Antao, Suhaib Oranon, Ibrahim Ali, and Tawakal Bitimbang.
we now move on to proposed resolutions, starting with proposed resolution number 77. May we request the Secretariat to please read the title, the authors, and the co-authors.
Secretariat is directed to read proposed resolution 77, including the title, the authors, and the co-authors.
Proposed resolution number 77 entitled Resolution Providing the Rules and Procedures Governing Bangsamoro Transition Authority Parliament Inquiries in Aid of Legislation. Authors, Members of Parliament, Jafar Apollo Mikhail Matalam, Rasul Ismail, Kadel Sinolini Jr., co-authors, Members of Parliament, Sohar Kambulugto, Muhammad Kelly Antao, Abdullah Makapar, Michael Mitimbang, and Ibrahim Ali.
Mr. Speaker, with the indulgence of members of the Parliament, I would like to remind that the first 5 bills that have been read earlier are private member bills. If there are members of the Parliament who wish to be co-authors, please submit the forms that have been provided to you for such purpose. On the same note, Mr. Speaker, for this proposed resolution, this is open for sponsorship, so please make sure that you fill in the forms that have been provided to you. For proposed resolution number 77, I hereby move that we refer this to the Committee on Rules.
There's a motion to refer proposed resolution 77 to the Committee on Rules. Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Here's none. Same is hereby approved.
Next is proposed resolution number 303. May we request the Secretary General to please read the title, the authors, and the co-authors.
The Secretary General is directed to read proposed resolution 303 to include the title, the authors, and the co-authors.
Proposed resolution number 303 entitled a resolution amending Section 2 and Section 5, Rule 1 of adopted resolution number 268, otherwise known as the Rules, Procedures, and Practices of the Bangsamoro Transition Authority Parliament, renaming or changing the title of Member of Parliament into Member of the Bangsamoro Parliament, and the term Parliament into Bangsamoro Parliament. Authors, Members of Parliament, Rasul Jr., Liza Dania, Sohar Kambulugto, Mahintan Ampatuan, Rasul Ismail, Don Mustafa Loong, Anil Bahar Mawalil, Esok Mastura, Siti Fahani Uy Oyod, Faisalin Tago, and Omar Yasser Senate. Co-authors, Members of Parliament, Randolph Parcasio, Darhatan Maglagit, Abdulaziz Aminodem, Hasemi Dilagalan, Jafar Apollo Mikhail Matala, Jamila Ramos, Troy Mendoza, and Khalid Haji Abdullah.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we refer proposed resolution number 303 to the Committee on Rules.
There is a motion to refer proposed resolution number 303 to the Committee on Rules. Is there any duly seconded? Is there any objection? Here's none. Same is hereby approved.
Next, Mr. Speaker, is proposed resolution number 515. May we request the Secretariat to please read the title, the authors, and the co-authors.
The Secretariat is directed to read proposed resolution 515 to include the title, authors, and co-authors.
Proposed resolution number 515 entitled a resolution requesting the Office of the Honorable Chief Minister to grant inflation relief assistance not exceeding 10,000 pesos to all employees in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Government of whatever status, including persons engaged under contract of service and job orders to be released during the month of Ramadan 1445, subject to availability of funds. Authors, Members of Parliament, Sohato Ismail, Shailaya Dumama Alba, and Obaida Pakasan. Co-authors, Members of Parliament, Batarul Istino, Aida Siluman, Mosber Aloden, Eddie Ali, Marian Arnalo, Marjani Makasalong, Lanang Ali Jr., Ambrosi Makatanong, and Kadel Sinulinding Jr.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we treat proposed resolution number 515 as a simple resolution.
Simple and urgent resolution.
Simple and urgent.
There's a motion to treat proposed resolution 515 as a simple and urgent resolution. Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Here's none. Then is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the principal author of proposed resolution number 515, Member of the Parliament, Suharto Ismael, to deliver his authorship speech.
The gentleman, Suharto, MP Suharto Ismael of Maguindanao, is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على ما لا نبي بعد. أما بعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Honorable Speaker, fellow members of this august body, ladies and gentlemen, the effect of inflation rate in our economy is grueling battle for employees who endure throughout the years of their lives. International Monetary Fund, IMF, a global organization focused on promoting sustained economic growth and reducing worldwide poverty, defines inflation as the rate of increase in prices over a given period of time. Inflation is typically a broad measure such as overall increase in prices or increases in the cost of living in a country. But it can also be more narrowly calculated for certain goods such as food or for services such as haircut, for example. Whatever the context, inflation represents how much more expensive the relevant set of goods and or services has become over a certain period, most commonly a year. Ramadan is fast approaching. Regardless of our historical inflation rate, we see prices surge beyond the capacity of our workers to afford the foods they need on the table during Ramadan. The increase on the price of commodities affects all employees and their families, Muslims and non-Muslims alike. The fact that Ministry of Trade and Investment and Tourism, MTIT, has been monitoring prices of essential commodities across Bangsamoro region to ensure stability, especially during the month of Ramadan, is a proof that prices do increase. To safeguard the well-being of people in the region, active efforts aimed to prevent any undue prices hikes on essential items are implemented, like price monitoring to ensure that business owners do not take advantage by rising prices excessively. But our experience tells us that business owners and traders do exploit the situation where demands of basic foodstuff tends to rise during this sacred month of Ramadan. A way for us to alleviate our employees suffering from prices commodities is to increase their purchasing power during this month, thus ensuring that the needs of farm residents and visitors are effectively met during Ramadan. Needless to say, inflation has direct impact on the value of our employees' compensation packages. When the inflation rises, the purchasing power of compensation also falls. And employees with lowest income can also have more difficult times navigating the financial challenges of inflation aggravated by the high price commodities during the month of Ramadan. The subject of this resolution before us, which should be added incentive as we did in the past to increase employees' purchasing power. Having said that, I respectfully call for all to support immediate adoption of proposed resolution number 515 to grant employees and their families the relief assistance they need and rightfully deserve. Let us all be one and pray that this season of reflection and fasting bring forth harmony and blessing to the Bangsamoro region and its constituents. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Syukran. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Pagpalain Bangsamoro.
Waalaikumsalam.
Mr. Speaker, I now move to open the period of interpellation and debate.
Is there any interpellation or will this, you want an increase, not 100, not 10,000? Okay, there are interpellators who wish to interpellate. I just hope that we will minimize the time for interpellation so that we can defer. With all due respect. Please, Floor Leader.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
There is a motion to open the period of interpellation and debate. Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
Mr.
Floor
Speaker,
Leader.
may we recognize Member of the Parliament Bayintan ng Patuan, to be followed by Member of the Parliament Michael Mitimbang, and then finally MP Ali Mutahabaco.
MP Bayintan ng Patuan is recognized.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Would the good sponsor yield to some clarificatory questions?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the resolution calls for an exact amount of 10,000, right, Mr. Speaker?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
And the reason is because we have a projected inflation rate. Am I right, Mr. Speaker?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, may I know if this Parliament have passed a resolution in the past, and how much were the amount approved by the Parliament?
If I'm not mistaken, Mr. Speaker, yes, there is. Last year we approved 15,000 for, if I'm not mistaken, 15,000 for all employees, except the executives.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And may I know, Mr. Speaker, what is the rationale why from 15,000 it was reduced to 10,000, Mr. Speaker? Considering that we are saying or invoking with the same reason, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, Minister of the MFPM, MP Pakasan. When I consulted him and presented the proposal, and then he said that we cannot accommodate higher than this because we will take these incentives from the savings from BS, which is from the month of January to March. And then if we increase this, we will not be able to provide for the contract of service, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and that clarifies, I think, for the sake of those who are expecting this, because we need some explanation why from the previous year we have 15,000 and this year we have 10,000. So I think that explanation would suffice considering the availability of funds. My last question, Mr. Speaker, is that, second to the last, perhaps. Mr. Speaker, is it the same that the MPs are not part of this resolution?
According to this resolution, Mr. Speaker, everyone is involved, no exemption.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Last question is that would you know, Speaker, in the past, in the compliance of the ministries and offices with regards to the implementation of the approved resolution came on time? Because we have heard of some complaints coming from the employees that the Ramadan, which is supposed to be the subject of the resolution, was already finished when some of the ministries and officers have delivered the implementation of the previous resolution.
Yes, that happens, Mr. Speaker. Kasi nga po yung budget for that is nire-request pa natin siya sa MFPM, and it takes time to process those documents. But hopefully this time is mabigay po natin during this time, as mentioned in the resolution.
I joined the proponent in this resolution, and I hope that the ministries and offices would implement as soon as possible. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker, next to interpellate is MP Michael Mitimba.
Thank you, Majority for Leader. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Pagpati sa punong ministro, Sir Ahmad Balawag Ibrahim, Honorable Speaker Pangalian Balindo, Deputy Speakers, Pro Leaders, and members of the Parliament. imunungkahing resolusyon bilang 515 na humihingi sa opisina ng kagalang-galang na punong ministro na magbigay ng tulong ng inflation relief na hindi hihigit sa 10,000 piso. So ngayon, Mr. Speaker, so dapat po pwede ba madagdagan ng kahit 5,000 lang? Kasi sa lahat ng empleyado ng Bangsamoro Autonomous Government ay isang kapuri-puring hakbang tungo sa pagtugon sa mga kahirapan sa ekonomiya na kinakaharap ng mga empleyado. Alam mo, minsan yung mga sweldo po ng ating mga empleyado ay naubos na nila sa utang. So dapat itong Ramadan na ito ay mabigyan po sila ng karapat-dapat na gastos nila sa Ramadan na ito. So, kahanga-hanga po ako ay nagpapasalamat sa proponent ng bill na ito, resolution, dahil kahit kunti meron. Pero mas maganda madagdagan ng kahit kunti man lang. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Lord Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the next to interpellate is MP Babaw.
Thank you very much, Madam Leader. To our presiding officer, the Speaker, Deputy Speaker, and all the officials of the Bangsamoro Transition Authority. Well, I was about to ask a very important question, but it was already raised by MP Baintan, and naitanong masagot na rin, but I will go to the other questions. One is, may we know, Mr. Speaker, from the proponent, how many employees that is about to be given this privilege, this allowance? How many of them? Because accordingly, in the earlier interpellation of Baintan, of MP Baintan, sinabi nila yung mga MPs and of course, I presume, including our staff. So my first question is, how many employees, including the staff, employees of the BTA?
Mr. Speaker, that information I don't have right now, Mr. Speaker, but when I asked the Ministry of Finance, according to them, this amount was calculated based on the total population or total plantilla of the farm. Actually, if nagkaroon mas bumaba ngayon, Mr. Speaker, because of the increase ng ating employment. Kasi from last year, meron pong mga nadagdag na mga employees natin ng plantilla. And according in related to the job order, Mr. Speaker, that we don't have numbers or data, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, yung sinasabi ng proponent na plantilla, kasama ba doon yung mga job orders o yung regular employees lang?
No, Mr. Speaker.
So you're talking of plantilla. So the resolution calls for the granting of all employees, including the job orders, the contract of services. Am I right?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
So you don't have yet the information how many employees that is going to be given that allowance. So if you don't have that data, so
yes,
you might be thinking, how much do we need to raise or to grant this? Assuming if you have 6,000 employees, that includes job orders, contract of services, then you're talking of 16 million pesos. Am I right, Mr. Speaker?
Yes, actually, yes, Mr. Speaker, I don't have the data, but the MFBM have the data. Actually, again, as I mentioned earlier, Mr. Speaker, this amount was calculated by the MFBM because they, accordingly, I think they have, and I believe they have, the total numbers of plantilla in Bangsamoro Autonomous Region. So this amount is based on that, Mr. Speaker.
So, since I think the way I understand the resolution, we are just passing this resolution urging the Chief Minister to grant. Now, if he approves this resolution to grant 10,000 each,
yes, Mr.
Saan
Speaker.
saan niya kukunin itong 60 million?
Yes, Mr.
Sa kanyang
Speaker.
budget o sa contingent fund natin?
Again, Mr. Speaker, I mentioned earlier that it will be deducted from the savings from the month of January to March, specifically from PS.
So I think wala dito sa resolution kung saan nanggagaling ng pondo. Ang sinasabi lang natin dito is that we are authorizing, we are requesting. In fact, there is no authority here that we are granting the Chief Minister. We are just requesting him to grant. So now, it went into my mind kung saan kukunin nito, but it was answered by the gentleman proponent na kukunin ko sa savings. So, do we have any legislation on the issue of savings, whether we will be using this to other items? We might be violating an existing law of
diverting funds. You cannot use any those funds. So we have to keep our institution to authorize the to release these funds in charge of all the savings. Am I right, Mr. Speaker?
Mr. Speaker, not necessarily, because 7 p.m. can have the guidance for Mr. Speaker. And this resolution is the legal basis, will be the legal basis of the Chief Minister who will release this fund, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, this is all the authority. We are authorizing Mr. Speaker. In fact, it's not an authority. We are just requesting. It's a matter of privilege. We are authorizing him, we are requesting him, but we do not, I don't know how shall we grant 60 million assuming for the same.
To the farm, saan natin kukunin to? There must be specific, language that we must include here kung saan natin kukunin itong pundo. Para bang binibigyan natin ng Chief Minister ng another load? Oh, lalagyan natin sa ulo niya kung you carry.
Mr. Speaker, just to explain the process, upon approval of this resolution, the Chief Minister will provide a memorandum to all ministries, or memorandum, yes. And the NFBM will provide again the guidelines for this resolution, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, another question. Are we authorized, for example, at the end of the year, we have a savings of so much. Then are we authorized to use these savings to any other purposes without, outside of which the allocation was approved? Kasi sabi nila, kukuha daw sila sa savings natin. Do we have that authority?
Yes, I think that's beyond the subject of this resolution, Mr. Speaker.
If that is the subject of this resolution, Mr. Speaker, hindi nakalagay dito eh. Hindi nakalagay dito kasi ang tingin ko dito, binibigyan lang natin ng problema.
Mr. Speaker, what I mentioned is beyond the subject of this resolution. The resolution only for the incentives for the month of Ramadan, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, I'm not opposing. In fact, at the end of my interpellation, I would like to add something. Ang sa akin lang po, to make it, to legitimize the use of funds. We are not just, this is not a personal funds of each and every one of us. It's funds belong to the Bangsamoro people. So
May
we
I
are
just
here to authorize it. Ang sa akin lang ito, kailangan saan manggagaling ito? Saan mo ipapawag ito?
With the indulgence of the two gentlemen on the floor, I think the charges as to where the charge should be, as to the source of the fund, is well understood. The Ministry of Finance has been consulted, and we cannot go to the end of the year because the end of the year, the savings declaration is only up to end of the year. As to the current budget operation, it is very clear there are leeways where we can charge this resolution if approved. The Minister of Finance has been consulted and he gave a ceiling as to only 10,000. So I think we should take that in its own on its pace. We will not be spending money or public funds as if it were our personal. There has to be a process, and the process will be determined through the help assistance of the Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, it was mentioned by Madam Bayintan, MP Bayintan. During our last year, we granted them 15,000. Now, can we not restore that amount? Instead of 10,000, we can grant them 15,000.
We will leave that to the, we can propose that, but if the Minister of Finance will see the limitation, then they may not grant it. But if they can see that there is enough funds, then maybe pwede nilang consider. Depende na yan sa BTA Parliament. Mr. Speaker, last. Pati, I am under pressure. I am under attack. Actually, ang sa akin, I would like to increase the amount from 10,000 to 50,000. The only concern is with some until
was appointed 2 months ago or 1 month ago. Qualified pa rin ba siya dito? Wala natin pinag-usapang length of service.
Again, Mr. Speaker, it will depend on the guidelines of MFPM, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, so
That was the last question. Thank you.
then I now move for the approval of this resolution, but increasing the amount from 10 to 15,000, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Noted, duly noted,
Mr. Speaker, that is a motion to approve. But from 10,000 to be increased to 15,000, Mr. Speaker. That is a motion. Now the chair have to yes.
Period of amendments ka.
Okay. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Mr.
Ali.
Speaker. May we
Thank you, Ali.
recognize
Thank you.
MP Amrosi Makatanong?
Kung ang increase lang naman itatayo natin, maghintay na tayo sa period of amendments. With all due respect.
Good morning. Point of clarification lang. Ang tanong ko lang is doon sa, kasi na-mention doon all employees. Now, nakasanayan natin na may length of service eh. Sometimes 4 months. Ito, ang tanong ko, clarification ko is, regardless of length of service entitled?
Again, Mr. Speaker, same answer dun sa tanong ni AP Baco po. It depends on the guidelines released by the NFPM, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
The chair.
Mr. Speaker, I now move to...
From the chair.
Okay, from the chair.
Will this include all officials and employees of the ministries?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
And where will their bonus be granted? From the ministry saving, or from the ministry's budget, or from the entire MFBM determination kung saan ang source. In our case before, when I was Vice Governor and BIOD Secretary of the Army, may mga bonus na chinarge namin sa ministry. Of course, with one of the auditors also. So,
Yes.
ito ba saan ita-charge?
Yes, normally, Mr. Speaker, kinukuha siya mismo sa ministries and offices.
Thank you,
But
thank
if
you.
may kulang po, that's the time na magbibigay po ang NFBM.
Thank you, thank you. Floor Leader,
Mr. Speaker, I move to terminate the period of interpellation and debate.
there is a motion to close the period of interpellation and debate. Is there any objection? Second. Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move to open the period of amendments.
There is a motion to open the period of amendments. Duly seconded. Nauna pa ako. No objection. Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, may we recognize MP Ampatuan?
MP by Intan Ampatuan is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can you plus yung part ng amount? Body and title.
Body muna.
O sige, body muna. Si Mr. Speaker yan. So, instead of not exceeding, we replace it with at least 10,000.
How much? How much?
At least 10,000. Pati yung doon sa previous na sentence.
It's not exceeding.
Oo.
At
No.
least.
At least, kung may pera yung ministry, pwedeng 11,000, 12,000, 13, 14, 15, as high as they can.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I accept.
So yung pa yung yung sa another part, no, therefore, may word doon sa taas. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
The amendment is accepted. Sponsor, the amendment was accepted.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I accept.
Hindi na in specific amount. Kung ako yun, specific na lang. Specific na lang, 15,000. Kasi yung 10,000 noon, time ko pa Vice Governor, 10,000 na binibigay namin.
Okay.
Ceiling. Okay na, sige, paalala ko.
Mr. Speaker, may we recognize MP Matarul Espino?
MP Matt Espino is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I would like to amend on the third whereas. Okay. Whereas Ramadan will commence no later than 10 of March this year. I would like to amend to replace it the no later than 10, not earlier than 11th of March this year.
It will depend on the moon sighting.
Yes.
Sighting and declaration of the Mufti.
Yes, because one thing, since the moon sighting as being early announced by our ulama on, I think, March 10. Yes, March 10. And then
Nawala ang audio mo.
So, as being pronounced by ulama, earlier pronouncement that it will be on, the moon setting will be on March 10, the early nights of March 10. If it cannot be seen on that very day, very nice, so it will be on March 12, the fasting. So that's why we amend no later than 10 to replace it, but not earlier than 11 of March this year. Mr. Speaker.
Di nadudugtungan depending on the moon sighting at the end of the sentence. Result of the moon sighting.
Yes, it will also be good to include that one.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I accept that amendment, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, thank you very much.
Diba? So, dalawa kami ni MP Matt. Sa akin, depending on the result of the moon sighting. Dagdag nyo, March this year, depending on the result.
There's additional words or language given by MP Nabiltan, depending on the moon sighting, right?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I also accept that because that will make more flexible that provision, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much.
Please include result of the moon sighting. Lipat mo yung March dyan. Wala yung March. March this year, March. March 2024. Yan. Alisin na March this year. Kaya mo pangalan ko. Sunod mo kay MP Man. Thank you. Any more? Wala na. Move to approve.
Mr. Speaker, I move to terminate the period of amendments.
The period of, there is a motion to close the period of amendment. Duly seconded. There is no objection. Hearing none, same is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move to approve proposed resolution number 515 as amended and subject to style.
There's a motion to approve proposed resolution 515 as amended and subject to style. Is there any second? Duly seconded. There is no objection. Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Next is proposed resolution number 518. May we request the Secretariat to please read the title, the author, and the co-author.
The Secretariat is directed to read proposed resolution 518, including the title and the authors.
Proposed resolution number 518 entitled Resolution Adopting the Calendar of Session for the Third Regular Session of the Second Parliament. Author Member Parliament Sharilaya Dumama Albang, Raisa Jajuri, Anna Tarhata Basman, Mary Ann Arnado, and Jose Lorena.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we treat proposed resolution number 518 as a simple resolution.
There is a motion to treat proposed resolution 518 as a simple resolution. Duly seconded. There is no objection. Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved. Floor leader.
Mr. Speaker, we would like to dispense with the delivery of an authorship speech and would just like to emphasize that based on the proposed resolution, the commencement of the session for the third regular session would be on May 14, 2024. Mr.
May
14.
The next regular session?
Yes.
2024. So that's the essence of the resolution.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
No more interpellation. Any motion to approve?
I would like to move to approve, Mr. Speaker, proposed resolution number 518.
This being a very simple resolution, there's now a motion to approve. Duly seconded. Hearing no objection, same is hereby approved.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Next is proposed resolution number 525. Mr. Speaker, may we request the Secretariat to please read the title, the authors.
The Secretary will please read the proposed resolution 525 to include the title and the authors.
Proposed resolution number 525 entitled, "A resolution issuing dress code guidelines for members of the Parliament." Author, Member Parliament Hatimil Hassan, Benjamin Lo, Omar Yasser Sema, Nabil Tan, Ibrahim Ali, Muslimin Jakilan, Hamid Malik, Michael Mitimbang, Tawakal Mitimbang, Abdul Wahab Pak, Said Salindab, Ali Salik, Muhammad Yaqub, and A.D. Ali.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to move that we refer proposed resolution number 525 to the Committee on Rules and the Committee on Ethics.
There's a motion to refer the proposed resolution 525 to the Committee on Rules
And Committee on
Duly
Ethics.
seconded.
And Ethics, Mr. Speaker.
and Ethics. Rules and Ethics. Duly seconded. There any objection? Chair hears none, same is hereby approved.
Next, Mr.
The
Speaker.
resolution is referred to the Committee on Rules and Ethics.
Next, Mr. Speaker, proposed resolution 526. May we request the Secretariat to please read the title and the authors.
The Secretariat is directed to read proposed resolution 526 to include the title and the authors.
Proposed resolution number 526 entitled, "A resolution issuing dress code guidelines for parliamentary staff and visitors."
During Parliament sessions. Authors, members of Parliament, Hatimil Hassan, Benjamin Lo, Omar Yasser Sema, Nabil Tan, Ibrahim Ali, Muslimin Jakilan, Hamid Malik, Michael Mitimbang, Tawakal Mitimbang, Abdul Wahab Pak, Said Salindab, Ali Salik, and Muhammad Yaqub.
Rules and Ethics.
526,
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
528, 526.
526.
526. Maraming resolution. There's a motion to refer to the Committee on Rules and Committee on Ethics the proposed resolution 526. Any second? Duly seconded. There is no objection. Chair hears none. Same is hereby referred to the Committee on Rules and Ethics.
Mr. Speaker, next is proposed resolution number 527. May we request the Secretariat to please read the title and the authors.
The Secretariat is directed to read proposed resolution 527 to include the title and the authors.
Proposed resolution number 527 entitled, "Resolution authorizing all parliamentary and statutory committees of the BTA Parliament to conduct meetings, hearings, and consultations during the recess of the second BTA Parliament." Authors, members of Parliament, Shaila Hadumama Alba, Raisa Jajuri, Marian Arnalo, Anna Tarhata Basman, and Jose Lorena.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we treat proposed resolution 527 as a simple resolution.
There is a motion to treat proposed resolution 527 as simple resolution. Duly seconded. There any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, similar to the earlier simple resolution, I would like to dispense with the delivery of an authorship speech because this is a simple resolution, Mr. Speaker, and also further move that we dispense with the period of interpellation and debate and the period of amendment, Mr. Speaker.
There's a motion to dispense with the sponsorship speech and the
Interpellation and debate.
interpellation and debate, including the period of amendments. Duly seconded. There any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move to approve proposed resolution 527 to authorize parliamentary and statutory committees of the BTA Parliament to conduct meetings, hearings, and consultations during the recess of the BTA.
There's now a motion to approve proposed resolution 526 527, authorizing the parliamentary and statutory committees of the BTA Parliament to conduct meetings, hearings, and consultation during the recess of the Bangsamoro BTA Parliament. Duly seconded. There in objection. Chair hears none. Then is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, next is proposed resolution number 528. May we request the Secretariat to please read the title, the author, and the co-authors.
Secretariat is directed to read proposed resolution 528, including the author, the title, and the authors.
Proposed resolution number 528 entitled Resolution urging the Bangsamoro government through the Ministry of Trade, Investment and Tourism to intensify market monitoring system, implement preventive measures, and closely monitor the prices of basic commodities in stores and markets to prevent overpricing practices during the month of Ramadan in the entire Bangsamoro region. Author, Member of Parliament Kadel Sinudni Jr. Co-authors, Members of Parliament Mujib Abu, Muhammad Keri Antao, Tawakal Mitimbang, Suhaib Uranon, and Basir Uttu.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we refer proposed resolution 528 to the Committee on Trade, Investment and Tourism.
There is a motion to refer the proposed resolution 528 to the Committee on Trade and Investment and Tourism. Duly seconded. There in objection. Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, the last proposed resolution is proposed resolution 532. May we request the Secretary to please read the title and the author.
The Secretary is directed to read proposed resolution 532 to include the title and the author.
Proposed resolution number 532 entitled A Resolution Commending and Congratulating Brigadier General Nasser Ledasan, PhD, for his appointment as the first Bangsamoro Muslim Chairman of GPH's MILF Coordinating Committee on the Cessation of Hostilities. Author, Member of Parliament, Baileng Mantawi.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we treat proposed resolution 532 as a simple resolution.
There's a motion to treat proposed resolution 532 as simple resolution. There any second? Second. Duly seconded. There any objection? Chair hears none. Then is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the author of proposed resolution 532, MP Baileng Mantawi.
The gentle lady from Maguindanao, MP Baileng Mantawi, is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, honorable members of the Bangsamoro Parliament, esteemed colleagues and distinguished guests. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
As a proud member of this esteemed Parliament, it is with both honor and privilege for me to stand before you today to sponsor a resolution that seeks to commend and congratulate a true luminary of our community, Brigadier General Nasser P. Ledasan, PhD. Brigadier General Ledasan's recent appointment as the first Bangsamoro Muslim Chairman of the GPH Coordinating Committee on the Cessation of Hostilities, or GPH-CCCH, is not merely a personal triumph, but a historic milestone for the Bangsamoro people. He has become the first Bangsamoro Muslim to hold this esteemed position, also being appointed by no less than the Philippine President, His Excellency Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos. He has become the importance of Brigadier General Ledasan's appointment cannot be overstated. It underscores the recognition of the Bangsamoro people's rightful place in the peace process and reaffirms the commitment to constructive dialogue and cooperation. His leadership in this crucial role will undoubtedly facilitate the implementation of the implementing guidelines and ground rules, paving the way for a more stable and prosperous future for our region. Moreover, Brigadier General Ledasan's dedication to service extends beyond his recent appointment as the Assistant Commanding General of the 6th Infantry Division of the Philippine Army, also the first Bangsamoro Muslim who has hold the position. He has demonstrated exemplary leadership and professionalism, bringing honor not only to himself but to our entire community. His tireless efforts in promoting peace, security, and development in our region serve as an inspiration for us all. Therefore, I urge each and every one of my esteemed colleagues to lend their support to this resolution by commending and congratulating Brigadier General Nasser P. Lidasan, PhD. We not only honor these individual achievements, but also reaffirm our collective commitment to peace, progress, and prosperity in the Bangsamoro region. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, Mr. Speaker.
Floor Leader.
There being no member of the Parliament who wishes to interpolate, Mr. Speaker, I... Okay. I would like to continue with the motion to dispense with the period of interpellation and debate and the period of amendments, Mr. Speaker.
There is a motion to close.
To dispense with
the period of interpellation and debate and the period of amendments. Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Chair hears none, same is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, will we recognize MP Said Sheikh to be followed by Deputy Speaker Hatimil Hassan for some manifestations?
The gentleman from Lanao del Sur is recognized, MP Said Sheikh, and to be followed by the gentleman D.S. Hatimil Hassan of Basilan. Please proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The mechanism, we are now on journey for the mutual understanding of the peace process between the national government and the Bangsamoro people, represented by Moro Islamic Liberation Front. Kaya po, pumunta ko dito, I stand in front of you dahil nasubukan ko na ang cessation of hostilities, coordinating committee on cessation of hostilities, ay malaking na itulong sa peace process. So this is the first time na usually ang chairman ng GPH ay from the Bangsamoro, from the national government, pero hindi Muslim. Pero ngayon lang first time na narinig ko na ang GPH representatives ay Muslim. Ang ibig sabihin lahat Muslim ngayon, yung chairman ng coordinating committee yung cessation of hostilities from the Mayalit ay si Boots Malang. From Muslim. Then, ngayon din, itong si General ay Muslim din. Ang ibig sabihin, the peace process is holding. While we are on the way, ang ibig sabihin ay nagiging solidify yung implementation of the peace panel. Kaya nagmanifest ako dito na maganda yung fruit at saka maganda yung assessment, lalong-lalo na dito sa security aspect, sa normalization aspect, na nakikita natin na nagiging concrete yung partnership ng Bangsamoro government at saka national government. So, kailangan lang yung suporta natin. So, I commend yung resolution at saka I manifest my co-author of this resolution. Yun lang po. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
That is a manifestation. The manifestation is a manifestation of support to the resolution. The Honorable Gentleman from Basilan, D.S. Hatimil Hassan, is recognized. Wala kang audio.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to propose amendment to the resolution.
Wala na. Close ng period of amendments, DS. Manifestation na lang siguro.
The close na ba? Di ba
Close na.
ang interpretation ng close?
Na-close ng interpellation and debate at amendments. So, you can just make manifestation.
Okay, thank you.
Manifestation na lang.
I manifest that kahit na belated, no? To congratulate Secretary Amin ng Pangandaman as the first Muslim, Bangsamoro Muslim co-chair ng Intergovernmental Relations Body, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that should be subject of another resolution. Thank you, D.S. Satin.
Mr. Speaker, I think MP Antao wishes to also make a manifestation.
The future of the SGA, the Honorable Gentleman, Kelly Antao.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Alam ko, ikaw rin ang isa sa utak at suporta sa Special Geographic Area during our journey kasama si MP Susan Anayate. We are representing the OPA for that time. So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ako po'y tumayo ngayon para po'y pahiwatig ang aking full support po sa itong inibago lang resolution na ipinasa ng ating kasamahan na tayo po ay magsuporta dahil this is the first time, tulad na pagkit nila kanina, na isang Bangsamoro na maging GPH chair ng CCH. So, tayo po rin po ay nagpapasalamat dahil si General Lidasan is also the second man in the 6th Infantry Division, 6th ID, na kung saan he is the Deputy Commanding General of the 6th ID. So, napakalakas ang kanyang posisyon. Magamit niya para po sa pagtulong ng pag-maintain ng peace and order, pag-maintain po ng mandate ng CCH. So, if the proponent is amenable, I would like to suggest that this must be a joint sponsorship resolution. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
And that was a manifestation of support for the appointment of a colleague from the Bangsamoro.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I would like to make a motion that we include members who are present today as co-authors of the proposed of all the resolutions, simple resolutions in today's.
There's a motion to include all physically present today in all the simple resolution that we have passed this morning. Any second? Duly seconded. There any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, in relation to the proposed resolution, we would just like to make a note of a typographical error which pertains to the inclusion of MILF. It should only be the GPH Coordinating Committee on the Cessation of
GPH Coordinating Committee.
So, wala po yung MILF dapat. So, GPH lang po siya.
Opo, dahil on the side of the national government siya, although Bangsamoro, is a friend of mine since he was more junior officer then.
Although this is only subject to style. So I therefore move that we approve proposed resolution number 532, subject to style, Mr. Speaker.
There's a motion to approve proposed resolution 532, subject to style. Is there any objection? Duly seconded, there any objection? Chair hears none, same is hereby approved.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We move on to bills on second reading. We have BTA Parliament Bill number 286, entitled an act providing for the revenue code of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes authored by the government of the day. Mr. Speaker, may we recognize on behalf of the principal author, Member of the Parliament Ubayda Pacasem, Deputy Floor Leader MP Attorney Mary Ann Arnado to deliver the authorship speech.
The sponsorship speech. The gentle lady, Deputy Floor Leader Attorney Mary Ann Arnaldo is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of our Minister, Attorney Obaida Pakasen, allow me to read the sponsorship speech for the Bangsamoro Revenue Code. So, let me read the speech. Attorney Pangalian Balindong, Deputy Speaker Nabil Tan, floor leader, and distinguished colleagues, today I rise to sponsor and seek your support for the passage of the Cabinet Bill number 286, an act providing for the revenue code of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. Tax system is central to the functioning of a government, for taxation enables it to do what the people expects it to do. There is a social contract between the government and its citizens, where the latter contribute according to their ability, and the government in turn ensures that revenues are utilized productively for the benefit of its people. It signifies that the primary objective of the tax system is to raise sufficient revenue to support the priority programs of government to facilitate the provision of public goods and services for the people. Taxation is only one of the revenue generation measures of a government. There are impositions or collections in exchange for services rendered, assets conveyed, penalties imposed, among others. Governments also venture into investments, issue bonds and other forms of indebtedness, and avail of loan and grants. In our case, the Republic Act number 11054, or the Bangsamoro Organic Law, vested the Bangsamoro government with the power to create its own sources of revenues and to levy taxes, fees, and charges consistent with the Constitution and existing laws. The Bangsamoro government has the authority to impose and collect certain national taxes. We can impose other fees or charges, receive dividends from the Bangsamoro government-owned and controlled corporations, avail of grants, endowments, donations, loans, and official development aid. The BARM also has revenues or shares in revenues from the exploration, development, and utilization of natural resources, among others. This will be entrenched through the Bangsamoro Revenue Code, BRC or Code, one of the priority legislations that we must complete within the extended transition period. Revenue systems contribute to nation building, as it provides the underlying core for the functioning of the government and ensures that we can meet our obligations as well as invest in education, health services, agriculture, infrastructure, innovation, and the provision of a safety net for the most vulnerable in our society, all of which contribute to social cohesion and social solidarity. In developing a sound revenue system, the principles of equity, efficiency, simplicity, elasticity, and buoyancy should always be taken into account. In practice, there are trade-offs between some of these principles, and the challenge is to find the right balance considering our needs, resources, potential, and stage of development. BARM is the only region in the Philippines to collect less than 1,000 pesos per capita in total BIR revenue since 2016. In 2019, the BARM per capita collections were 30 times lower than the total BIR per capita collections in the Philippines. A low tax base is an expected consequence in post-conflict regions due to low incentives to invest both and to large shadow economy. Fortunately, data from the Philippine Statistics Authority show that the barn economy is growing. Our gross regional product grew by 6.6% in 2022, a commendable achievement, albeit a slight deceleration from 7.5% growth in 2021. BARN is the 10th among 17 regions in terms of economic growth rate. The PSA reported that the region's poverty incidence decreased from 52.6% in 2018 to 29.9% in 2021, indicating a rise in disposable income levels. This is expected to contribute to higher disposable income and increased demand for goods and services in the region. Household consumption, a major driver of our economy, saw a 6.2% increase in 2022 and is expected to grow by 2.4% in both 2023 and 2024. The industry sector, encompassing manufacturing, mining, and construction, saw a growth of 6.1% in 2022. Both the industry and services sectors are moving towards our target of registering sustained double-digit real growth ranging from 10% to 12%. Our agriculture sector, the backbone of our economy, experienced a decelerated growth of 3.5% in 2022 due to typhoon damages. This necessitates infrastructure, technical assistance, and climate resilient and sustainable practices, which may be possible through revenues generated under the proposed code. With this in mind, the government of the day, primarily through the Ministry of Finance, Budget and Management, embarked on the task of crafting the fiscal regime framework of the Bangsamoro, cognizant of these objectives. Number 1, optimizing the fiscal autonomy powers granted by Republic Act 11054. Number 2, reducing reliance on intergovernmental fiscal transfers. Number 3, increasing the revenue-raising capacity of the Bangsamoro government to support our operations. And number 4, achieving the development priorities of the BARN with due regard to cultural and environmental dimensions. Completed after extensive research, discussions, negotiations with national government, consultations, and writing, the Bangsamoro Revenue Code is a comprehensive and forward-looking instrument that will greatly contribute to complete, if not seal, the Bangsamoro struggle for self-determination. I say this because the mobilization of regional sources of revenue is significant as such ability ensure the Bangsamoro's genuine autonomy. One of the gains of the Bangsamoro's resolve to the peace process is the additional taxing powers in the BOL, namely the capital gains tax, documentary stamp tax, estate tax, and donors tax. This, however, comes with condition that all the taxable elements are within the BARN territorial jurisdiction as determined by the Intergovernmental Fiscal Policy Board. Inspired by the wisdom and the perseverance of the Bangsamoro peace negotiators and organic law framers, we put our heads together to settle the taxable elements as well as delineate the functions of the Bangsamoro Revenue Office and the Bureau of Internal Revenue. The collection and assessment of the 4 taxes will be under the Bangsamoro Revenue Office, which is also authorized to collect other national taxes aside from its primary functions of administering regional taxes in the BARN. Owing to our historical tax performance and our desire to allow pioneer sectors to take off, The rates of most existing taxes are maintained. The tax on peddlers and professional tax on masseurs and paramedics are removed so as not to unduly burden taxpayers with limited ability to pay. The key tax bases with major revenue potential like income tax and value-added tax remain with the national government, while on business activities and privileges are shared across levels of government. Hence, taxpayers, business entities may choose or transfer to a place with more favorable tax regime. Our response to this challenge is to capture tax revenues from less mobile subject matters, market-seeking and resource-seeking activities or enterprises. The BARM is abundant in natural resources. It has more than 3,000 kilometers of coastline, more than 18 million hectares of territorial ocean waters, about 45% forest cover. The region also has 4 watersheds providing irrigation, water, and food supply. Lake Lanao, giving hydroelectric power to Lanao del Sur and adjacent towns. The fishing and seaweed production in Sulu, Basilan, and Tawi-Tawi constitutes 18% of the national fisheries and 72% of the national seaweed production of the country. Moreover, the BARM has 2 of the country's largest oil and gas basins, the Sulusi and Cotabato Basin. Last Monday, February 26, the first BARM conventional energy bid round was jointly launched, ushering a strategic step to unlock the full potential of the BARM and to maximize our natural resources to attain energy security and sufficiency. In mining, BARM has 10 mining companies with mineral production sharing agreement operating in the area. 4 of these have active nickel mining operations in the provinces of Sulu and Tawi-Tawi. Also, exploration permits were also issued to 3 mining companies in Lanao del Sur and 2 in Maguindanao. Clearly, the resource rents and non-tax fees and charges that can be imposed by the Bangsamoro government to activities related to the utilization of natural resources has the potential to significantly contribute to the fiscal autonomy and sustainable development of BARM. On this basis, the framework on the imposition of rents, non-tax fees and charges, and other specific rates are defined in the Bangsamoro Revenue Code. I want to emphasize that fiscal and tax policies are not about revenue alone. There is a growing trend for these policies to be used to change behavior and to deal with the problem of negative externalities, such as making polluters pay the real price of their adverse impact on the environment. The Bangsamoro Revenue Code incentivizes social objectives through social amelioration tax to discourage certain activities like gambling, tax on single-use plastics, and fees and charges on environmental impact assessments, toxic substances, and nuclear waste permits, discharge permits, among others. We advocate to earmark a reasonable portion of the latter's collection to environmental protection programs as part of our duty to ensure ecological balance and sustainable intergenerational development. Alluding to intergenerational development, one can associate it to financial inclusion because the latter improves intergenerational income mobility mainly by alleviating credit constraints and promoting investment in human capital. Financial inclusion, a strategic goal of various jurisdictions, including the Philippines, recognizes Islamic finance as a catalyst because it delivers Sharia-compliant products, many of which are specifically designed to support the needs and protect the rights of the poor, undeserved, and marginalized. For a country with Muslims comprising about 10% of its population, financial inclusion would be incomplete without Islamic finance, and Islamic finance would be incomplete without the Bangsamoro. Hence, our efforts on Islamic finance are anchored on the lens that we are not merely consumers, but are drivers of the development of Islamic finance in the country. One of the important milestones in Islamic finance is the establishment of the Sharia Supervisory Board in the BARM. On December 15, 2023, the SSB in the BARM convened for its organizational meeting, established under the Joint Circular dated April 26, 2022, issued by the Bangsamoro Government, Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, Department of Finance, and the National Commission on Muslim Filipinos. The SSB in the BARM is primarily tasked to render Sharia opinions on Islamic banking transactions and Sharia products in the BARM, and conduct Sharia compliance assessments whenever deemed necessary. It is currently composed of 9 members who are well recognized in the field of governance and Islamic finance. Last February 8, the MFBM signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the Insurance Commission to advance capacity development and financial literacy efforts in Takaful using contemporary channels and community-focused initiatives. Since 2022, the General Appropriations Act of the Bangsamoro encouraged all ministries and offices of the Bangsamoro government, to the extent that it relates to their mandated functions, to formulate plans, programs, and projects intended to support the full integration and mainstreaming of Islamic finance within their services and activities. The Bangsamoro Revenue Code describes the various Islamic finance nominate contracts or transactions, identifies their economic equivalents in conventional finance, and provides for their tax treatment to the extent of the taxing power of the Bangsamoro government, endeavoring to achieve tax neutrality. Once enacted, the code will create a level playing field for Islamic finance products and services in the BARM, ensure a sustainable Islamic finance industry, and convey that the autonomous region promotes open, equitable, and competitive financial system. This headway for Islamic finance is only one part of our extensive and dynamic fiscal policy measure that also covers non-stock revenues and other revenue sources. The Bangsamoro Revenue Code dovetails the current imposition or collections of the ministries and offices in exchange for services rendered, assets conveyed, as well as those that may be imposed within the context of enhanced devolution under the BOL and relevant laws. The rates were determined after data analysis, legal review, stakeholder engagement, cost of service and inflation adjustment, as well as financial modeling. These are fees and charges on the exploration, development, and utilization of natural resources, transportation and communication, business registration and promotion, housing and land regulation, licensing, or accreditation of education facilities, health facilities, cooperatives, fees and charges on public work-related services, economic zone-related services, labor and employment services, and fees for the use of regional facilities and related regulatory fees. The Bangsamoro Revenue Code also lays down principles on grants and donations, official development assistance, and reference to the guidelines approved by the IFPB or any amendment thereof. It includes revenue sources, which may not be needed in short term but are available for the government to tap, if necessary, to address volatility in intergovernmental fiscal transfers and to meet public expenditures requirements. These are loans and other forms of indebtedness, privatization of assets, dividends from GOCCs, bonds, sukuk, and other debt papers. The MFBM, with the approval of the Chief Minister, shall issue these bonds, sukuk, and debt papers. The placing, sale, servicing, and redemption of such debt papers will be through one of the MFBM sectors, the Bangsamoro Treasury Office. The BPO will receive and safeguard all the revenues generated and collected by the ministries and offices and the BRO. The latter is encouraged to implement a program to digitalize the collection of regional taxes, which shall, as far as practicable, be designed with interface and interoperability with the information systems of other tiers of government, which may be involved in the collection of taxes under the code or whose data are necessary for the efficient collection of taxes by the BRO and its deputized officers. The BRO and BPO are essential elements of the MFBM, along with the Bangsamoro Finance Office and the Bangsamoro Budget Office, that team up to promote sound fiscal policy and public financial management, mobilize and maximize adequate resources to meet budgetary requirements and manage public sector debt to attain a strong fiscal position. Mr. Speaker, dear colleagues, this 2024 is the 10th anniversary of the Comprehensive Agreement on the Bangsamoro. Last January, we marked the 5th year of the BARM. In a span of 5 years, we have seen peace dividends, reduction in poverty incidents, progress in institution building, improved security situation, sustained recovery from the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, and robust economic growth. Interesting questions linger. Can the Bangsamoro sustain and maintain an enabling environment for all peoples to live together and have gainful pursuits? Can the Bangsamoro support essential government activities despite volatile intergovernmental transfers and external shocks? Can the Bangsamoro be progressive while securing its identity and posterity? Yes, if we plan, finance, and coordinate public expenditure along a sustainable long-term trajectory. Let the Bangsamoro Revenue Code pave the way for its fruition. Pagpalain ang Bangsamoro. With that, Mr. Speaker, let me also close this speech by extending our commendation and appreciation to Minister Attorney Obayda Pakasen for this masterpiece legislation that he has painstakingly worked on for and on behalf of the Bangsamoro government and for the consideration of the Parliament. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker,
Floor Leader.
I would like to move to refer Parliament Bill number 286 to the Committee on Finance, Budget and Management and the Committee on Ways and Means.
There is a motion to refer the proposed BTA Parliament Bill number 286 to the Committee on Finance and Committee on Ways and Means. Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Shall be shared by approved.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We now move on to privilege hour. We have one member of the Parliament who is prepared to deliver his privilege speech. May we recognize, and I so move that we recognize Member of the Parliament, Jamel B. Makakua.
The Honorable Gentleman from Maguindanao, MT Jamel Makakua is recognized. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To our dear Chief Minister Ahod Alhaj Murad Ibrahim, to the Honorable Speaker of the Parliament, Attorney Ali Pangalian Balindong, Floor Leader, Attorney Shah Elijah Duwama Alba, Deputy Speakers, Deputy Floor Leaders, to all the distinguished members of the BTA Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. It is truly an honor to be seated with the people who are committed and determined to make our visions come to reality and bring plans to fruition. I am grateful that the Philippine President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. recently appointed me as one of the members of the Parliament. Same heartfelt appreciation and gratitude is also dedicated to our Chief Minister, Ahod Balawag Ibrahim, for the trust and confidence they have bestowed upon me. Like all of you, I also bring with me the responsibility of our forefathers, or Mujahideen, who dedicated their lives for the freedom and democracy of the Bangsamoro. Sabay-sabay po nating bigyan ng masigabong palakpakan ang mga taong nagsakripisyo para sa kapayapaang nakamit natin ngayon. To formally introduce myself before this august body, Mr. Speaker, I am Jamel Balang Makakwa, a proud son of a Bangsamoro Mujahideen and a Bangsamoro Mujahidat. Mr. Speaker, allow me to take this opportunity to thank both of my parents for humbly raising me and my 6 siblings in the best possible way they can, considering the circumstances they were in during our fight for self-determination. Nana Agubaba, Dakusaya o Kanadahil Rakano. I also like to thank my loving wife for her never-ending loving support, and my 2 daughters for being my rays of sunshine. Prior to my appointment, Mr. Speaker, I was working at the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Agrarian Reform, led by my former boss, now my co-member of the Parliament, Dr. Muhammad S. Yaqub. There, I found happiness and contentment, knowing that I can be of service to our Bangsamoro farmers and fisher folks, especially with regard to their legal battles. To be honest, Mr. Speaker, my appointment came as a surprise for me. I already laid out my plans career-wise, but as what is stated in Surah An-Nahl, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "Wayam kuruna wayam kurullah, wallahu khairul makirin." But they plan, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala plans, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best of all planners. I believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put me in this position so that I can help the larger number of our fellow Bangsamoro. I also believe that this is the answer to my lifelong question. That is, paano kaya ako makakatulong sa Bangsamoro katulad ng pagtulong ng aking mga magulang? Inshallah, as a member of the Parliament and a proud son of one of our Mujahideens, I am determined to carry on the torch of honor and justice by passing and supporting legislations that will uphold and protect the rights of the Bangsamoro, recognize their aspirations, promote their interests, thereby ensuring that the lives sacrificed for our forefathers are not put into waste. My fellow members of the Bangsamoro Parliament, we are the living legacies of our forefathers' patriotism, sacrifice, and bravery. The duties and responsibilities had fallen on our shoulders to continue writing their heroic narratives. Hindi pa nagtatapos ang ating laban. May mga pangako pa tayong dapat tuparin sa ating mga kapwa Bangsamoro. Buhat po natin ang mahigit 4 na milyong Bangsamorong nagtitiwala sa lipunang ito. Umaasang hindi sila pababayaan at patuloy na mabibigyan ng tamang serbisyo tungo sa magandang kinabukasan. Ladies and gentlemen, this will not be an easy journey. But the trust and confidence you have all bestowed upon me is enough to keep me going. Truly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a greater plan for me. I am ready to be His instrument to serve the Bangsamoro and help build a stronger bureaucracy. My fellow members of the Parliament, let us all uplift the lives of each and every Bangsamoro. Sama-sama nating ipagpatuloy ang nasimulan para sa makabago at mas progresibong Bangsamoro. Before I end my speech, Mr. Speaker, the holy month of Ramadan is upon us. I would like to extend my warmest greetings to the Bangsamoro community. May this time of reflection and prayer bring us peace and prosperity. May our fasts be accepted and our prayers answered. Let us embrace the spirit of Ramadan, fostering unity and compassion. I wish everyone a blessed Ramadan filled with tranquility and fulfillment. Ramadan Mubarak. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Lord Leader.
Thank you very much and congratulations to Member of the Parliament, Jamil Makakwa. Mr. Speaker, may we recognize Deputy Speaker Hatimil Hassan, Mr. Speaker?
The distinguished gentleman from Basilan, D.S. Hatimil Hassan, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My intervention, Mr. Speaker, is about yung mga taxable things that the Bangsamoro government would consider in passing this revenue code. Isa doon ay ang share ng Bangsamoro government from fossil fuels, which is supposed to be 50-50 between the Philippine government and the Bangsamoro government, Mr. Speaker. So this is just the beginning, and we hope as we continue to hear and to discuss this code, we will be able to dig further and discuss further about this matter with the Speaker, because of the fact that the sharing of revenues, royalties from fossil fuels has been a subject of lengthy negotiations between the Philippine government and the Bangsamoro approach, Mr. Speaker. So this is just a manifesto, Mr. Speaker, in which that we should prepare when we come to the public hearing of this very important bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
That should serve as a good input to the committee deliberation on the revenue code. Thank you very much for a good reminder.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The last item under other matters is the confirmation of committee membership, because in relation to the recent appointment of Member of the Parliament, Jamil Makakwa, it is also important that we give him committees. That we assign him to committees, Mr. Speaker.
What are the committees?
So
are you ready as of now?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. So MP Makakwa has also submitted his application, Mr. Speaker, and we deemed it also prudent to put him in the same committees that the MP that he replaced was already in. So for parliamentary committees, MP Jamil Makakwa will be part of the Committee on Rules. For the Committee on Ways and Means, Mr. Speaker, on account of the withdrawal of MP Ahmad Abbas and MP Basit Abbas as members of the Committee on Ways and Means, the members of the Parliament, MP Marjani Makasalong and MP Suharto Ismael, as well as MP Jamil Makakwa, are now members of the Committee on
Ways and Means.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
That's a nomination already.
Yes, Mr.
To
Speaker.
be confirmed by the Parliament.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. And I now move that we confirm.
There is a motion to confirm the nomination of our new colleague, MP Jamil Makakwa, to the Committee on Rules and the Committee on Ways and Means. Duly seconded. There any objection? Chair hears none. They will hereby approve. Nomination is approved, confirmed by the BTA Parliament.
Mr. Speaker, in the same manner that due to the withdrawal from the Committee on Ways and Means of MP Ahmad Abbas and MP Basit Abbas, MP Suharto Ismael and MP Marjani Makasalong will be the replacements, Mr. Speaker.
In the Committee on
Ways and Means.
Ways and Means, Marjane Makasalong and Toto
Sorry.
Ismail
Yes.
is nominated.
Yes, to replace MP Ahmad Abbas and MP Basit Abbas.
As a replacement. Duly nominated. Is there any second? Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Nomination is confirmed.
Mr. Speaker, for statutory committees, MP Jamel Makakua is to become part of the Committee on Finance, Budget and Management to replace MP Abdul Rauf Makakua, who is now the Governor, Mr. Speaker.
The gentleman MP Jamil Makakua will replace his father, distinguished father, Sami Makakua, in the Committee on Finance ba? Committee on Finance, CFBM, Finance, Budget and Management. Nominated. There any second? Duly seconded. There any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, for Committee on Agriculture, Fisheries and Agrarian Reform, this representation nominates MP Jamel Makakua to be part of the CAFAR.
MP Jamil Makakua is also nominated to be member of the Committee on Agriculture and Agrarian Reform, CAPAR. Duly seconded. There any objection? Chair hears none. The nomination of Jamil Makakua to CAPAR, Committee on Agriculture and Agrarian Reform, is confirmed.
Mr. Speaker, for the Committee on Trade, Investments and Tourism, we would like to announce the withdrawal of MP Hussein Munoz.
MP Hussein Munoz has withdrawn as member of the
Committee on Trade,
Investment and Tourism. We accept the withdrawal. And instead what?
No
replacement.
Nobody applied to be part of CTIT.
So we leave it at that at the proper time.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Floor Leader, what else?
Mr. Speaker, for Committee on Labor and Employment, we would like to announce the withdrawal of MP Haron Abbas, Mr. Speaker.
MP Haron Abbas has withdrawn as member of the Committee on Labor and Employment.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
We accept the withdrawal.
Mr. Speaker, and MP Bayintan ng Patuan has manifested to be a part of the Committee on Labor and Employment.
MP Bayintan ng Patuan has accepted her nomination to the Committee on Labor and Employment. And we are now nominating her. Floor Leader.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
We are now nominating her as the member of the Committee on Labor and Employment. Duly seconded. Anong bulong ng committee chair? There any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker,
Nomination of Bayintan ng Patuan is confirmed.
Mr. Speaker, for Committee on Public Order and Safety, we would like to announce the withdrawal of MP Ahmad Abbas and the manifestation to become a member of MP Jamel Makakua, Mr. Speaker.
MP
Ahmad
Abbas has withdrawn from the Committee on
Public Order
and Safety, and
MP Jamel Makakua.
MP Jamel Makakua is being nominated to the committee. Duly seconded. There any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, to become part of Committee on Local Government, I hereby nominate MP Jamel Makakua.
To be part of the Committee on Local Government, also MP Jamil Makakua is nominated. Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Nomination is confirmed. Approved.
Mr. Speaker, for the Committee on Environment, Natural Resources and Energy, MP Jamel Makakua is hereby nominated to be part of SENRE, Mr. Speaker.
MP Jamil Makakua is also nominated to be member of the Committee on Environment, Natural Resources. Duly seconded. Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Same is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, on account of the persistent application of a member of the Parliament, John Anthony Lim, to be part of the Committee on Finance, Budget and Management. We would like to inquire whether any member of the CFBM wishes to withdraw so that we can replace him or her, Mr. Speaker.
As of now, there is none yet. He will be in the active list once a withdrawal is received. Meron pa mag-withdraw as of now? Last call. Meron mag-withdraw na ngayon para makapasok na si Jet Flynn.
Oh, tapos yung mga members din dapat, a-attend sila ng mga meeting.
Dapat. Hindi pwede maraming excuses.
Okay, just to make sure, Mr. Speaker, I would like to reiterate the members of the Statutory Committee on Finance, Budget and Management. Chair MP Edward Guerra, Vice Chairs MP Bayinta ng Patuan, MP Jose Lorena, MP Ubayda Pacasem, and Deputy Speaker Paisalit Tago. Members, MPs Eddie Ali, Susana Anayatin, Mary Ann Arnado, Dan Asnawi, Ali Montaha Babaw, Ana Tarhata Basman, Hashemi Dilangalen, Suharto Ismael, Matarul Estino, Abdullah Hashim, Mohager Iqbal, Raisa Jajuri, Al-Bakil Jikiri, Den Martin Kahalan, Faisal Caron, Don Mustafa Loong, Jamel Makakua, Marjani Makasalong, Amrusi Makatanong, Ishak Masura, Jaafar Apollo Mikael Matalam, Almin Bahar Mawalil, Michael Mintimbang, Hussein Munoz, Randolph Parcasio, Jamila Ramos.
Hindi ba ang Deputy Speaker ex officio ng lahat ng committees and voting? So DS1 is member, pwede na si Jetlyn. Ikay Tago.
Said Sheikh, he is a regular member, Mr. Speaker.
Oo nga, Deputy Speaker siya, pwede na siya ex officio.
But he's the Vice Chair, Mr. Speaker.
Vice Chair. Si P kasi yan.
Said Sheikh, Aida Silongan, Kadil Sinuninding Jr., Aspar Usman, and Muhammad Yaqub, Mr. Speaker.
Maglabi ka muna, Jet. Galing ka naman. Wala na?
Okay, so
it's about time.
It's about time, Mr. Speaker, that we move. We move to adjourn Sinidye until May 14, 2024.
There is a motion to adjourn the BTA Parliament session Sine Day and to resume the second regular session on May 14. Is there any objection? Here's none. Say may share by approve. Hindi pa tayo adjourn na. Adjourn na. Mag-photo session na with the speaker before he leaves.